Hello everyone and welcome to the Edmonds Racing Preview Show. Trent's flying the flag for the team today. He's solo, but he's hot to trot. Another best bet getting the chocolates, and a bit of a quieter weekend on the runners front, mate, but still good to see another winner and another best bet getting the chocolates with Cripps tonight.
Yeah, he was good. Pretty has let me down a fortnight ago, unfortunately, but I think I would have been 7 from my last 7, roughly.
But who's counting?
Yeah, who's counting? No, he was really good. Look, I think as Dad said last week, coat wasn't quite right, and that bit of a cold snap we had just put his coat back. And when you send him to the races looking like that, it's always a little bit of a worry, because generally, if their coat's not much good, it means that they're not quite ready. What I did love about the win was how strong he was late. The track presented a little bit softer last week. He was able to get through that, no problems at all. When he smacked him in a maiden at Ipswich, he done the same, so that's handy. And when the speed went on, it showed that he wasn't one-dimensional. The speed was very hot. I thought he was going to lead pretty comfortably. Jameldi and the horse of Gervais kicked up and went around him and took a trail. Lani rode him well, popped off the fence pretty quickly after they headed him, and got down the middle of the track and won fairly comfortably. So I think that was the most pleasing aspect of the win, was that he took a sit. I had this thought in my head that we've had a couple of spirited booms that are just sort of get out and go and high cruising speed, and they can maintain that.
We did say that in the preview too, that you thought he'd be handlebars down. And
yes, correct. And I thought he'd be too quick for them, but it didn't work out that way. And that was a really pleasing aspect of the win. So it just shows that he's got a little bit more to offer. From 1,000 metres to 1,200 or whatever, it shouldn't be a problem at this stage. I think on the dam side, he's actually bred to get a little bit further, but he probably just needs to just settle a little bit if we want to do that. But pleasing aspect was that he was able to come back off them and then extend. So some good racing coming up over the next couple of months for him. Whether or not that's Magic Millions, that might come around too quick, but Saturday 3-year-old Cutis racing is perfect, and added another string to his bow. So we've had a good amount of luck for that ownership group. I think they're Kevin Hall's colours, former Carlton captain, and I think that's third horse in our stable to race in his colours. Thine is the Power, dark horse, and this fella Cripps tonight, and all have been multiple winners.
All multiple winners. Yeah, he's 2 from 4 now. So as you said, he's ready to step up to that Saturday level.
Handy conveyance.
Yeah. Okay, and just touching on some of the other runners that went around, as we said, they're all in this emerging bracket, either first up and young sort of 3-year-olds, I guess. Corfe Castle?
I have no doubt should have won. They nearly broke the world record for the first 600. Got to the halfway point there on Saturday. He's first up, and I think they were 33.02 the first 600. Now, that's nearly unheard of, and for him to only go down just a little over a length was a good performance. I think with a kind of ride early, no doubt he would have won. So he's going the right way. It's just a pity that it didn't quite work out for him. It was good Cutis prize money, and we just missed out. But he's one to follow for the rest of the prep.
He'll be fitter off that then.
Yeah, he will. And he had a bit of a burn in the run. Like, horse was 100 to 1 outside him, just eyeballing. Probably should have let that go, come back, and he would have found and won the race. So was proud of the effort. It just wasn't the right result on the day, unfortunately. He's one to follow. Similar boat to Cripps tonight. They were both first up. Magic Millions, they're probably going to come around a bit too quick for both of them, but I'm tipping they probably butt heads in the latter part of the summer in those Saturday Cutis races, and they're both Cutis geldings, so good prize money offer for both, and that's where we'll head with them. So
okay, we should have mentioned the Vowels, who was also in the same race as Corfe Castle.
Yeah, he went super. As mentioned, really ridiculously hot speed. We wanted to ride him steady from a wide barrier. Subsequently, they went along too fast for him. He was off the bridle, made super ground. One to watch when he gets to 14, possibly a mile, where he can settle under his own comfort and then use his turn of foot down the outside of horses. But he went absolutely super.
Both worth following. Yep. And then Maroon Magic stepped out, finished 4th for the Rogues.
Yeah, well, as I said about just talking about Cripps tonight, the track I thought was presented a little bit softer than what it had been after a little bit of rain late in the week. And she has been much better on top of the ground, led and sort of sped along, and didn't quite put her best foot forward. So she'll just have a break now, I think, and come back and just hopefully get some dry tracks with her. I think I said last week in the preview that she'd been coming up through the ranks when we trialled her in that on soft tracks, and she was nowhere near as effective as what she should have been. So dry tracker and nice and fresh, probably back in journey to 1,000 and just ridden a little bit steadier as well, next preparation.
Okay, they're all worth following then by the sounds of it. The debutante also Mission to Win. What do we make of that debut? Tobe, that was his best bet?
Yeah, I think probably the trial was hard overhead maybe. He just had no idea. He took a left-hand turn, veered outwards as the gates opened, raced with his mouth open, arms and legs going everywhere, and sort of just done a stack wrong. So maybe a couple of gear changes and another run, and we'll see him get to his best. He's very immature. He's still quite lightly framed and just not quite there. So go a couple of weeks between runs, give him a soft sort of 10 days, fortnight, and then find another race for him, probably a gear change and a softer barrier where we can just ride him a little bit further forward rather than so far back. He just got lost back behind them and wanted to run away from horses and constantly changing stride around the side, so just off balance and nothing really went right.
Bit of a learning experience for him.
For sure.
And then during the week, last one to recap is Cool and Ready, who stepped out for the Tricolours team. What did we make of that? He was obviously well supported, but
disappointing, undoubtedly. Got a slight bump out of the barriers, was in a rearward position, ridiculously slowly run race. Mouth open, come out pretty early to challenge and was sort of the first one beaten and got beaten a long way. It was very disappointing. Things just didn't go right for him. We probably stuffed the tactics up. We sort of wanted to just ride him as the gates opened and then find a bum and let him finish off. We had our time again. We go forward on him and put that positive mindset into the rider as well, that, if we roll forward and he'd be hard to beat, which he had been in his 3 wins to date. Anyhow, he was still disappointing, pulled up with the thumps, which was frustrating. It's a disappointing performance. Don't know what we do with him now, but give him a quiet sort of week or so while we decide. More than likely paddock and then come back and sort of low-hanging fruit off-season cutest racing and try and maximise return.
Okay, sounds like a plan with Cool and Ready. All right, let's touch on the triallers during the week. A few stepped out at Bow Desert on Monday. Hard Empire was one of those. He was good.
Yeah, and that's rock solid from him. That's what you get all the time, sort of thing. And he's a good quality galloper. So I think it's a couple of weeks till Magic Millions, or 3 weeks till Magic Millions from this Saturday, and we'll probably give him another trial between now and then just to really make sure that he's rock hard and ready. He'll run in the sprint race and he's dynamite fresh, so that's where we're heading with him, and he's on target. He looks great, the old horse, and he's going really well, so happy with him. Another trial that I thought went well was Parachuter. Even though she won a trial, it was a nice soft trial. Andrew Mallion Road was very kind to her, bounced out, led, and then he just let her come up to the line under her own steam. She was very big, so she needed the hit out, and will improve from that.
Okay, so a couple of runners worth following there from the trials. Yep. Let's get into the preview. The 2 runners, as we mentioned, or the 2 acceptors. We're talking Doomben Saturday, Indian Dreamer. He's honest as they come, and has been sort of probably a bit unlucky this prep, hasn't he? Finds a similar race, benchmark 80 over the 1600.
Yeah, so he was a little bit unlucky last start. Sort of wanted to get out and get into the clear. He's not a horse that can pick up and sprint, and that's what he was asked to do. Even though John Smurden's horse come from behind him and got him down late, it was sort of, it come back a pair, come out wide, and then was building the revs, where our fella was waiting until probably just inside the furlong for that gap to appear up the inside, sorry. So I think while he sort of hit the front, the other horse just had the momentum down the outside and got him down. So I think it carries a couple of kilos more. We might meet it a kilo better at the weights from memory, or at least half a kilo. And barrier 8, no problems. I think he's won there before, track and journey, so that's all well and good. And he continues to train really well. It's quite odd what we've done within this preparation. We've sort of gone all of his runs really quickly. We usually space them out, but he's racing well, and that's just meaning we're not doing a great deal with him between runs, just keeping freshness in his legs, and hopefully that little bit of a swing in the weights and back across the road to Doomben, unimpeded run, and he can get the job done. I think he's well over the odds. Horse that he beat last start, Logan Street Line, is about 3 or 4 points shorter than him, so I think he's good chance. We just need to get the first part of the race right, and just building the revs, nice clear running at the right time, and he should nearly win.
Okay, well there you go, bit of value there with Indian Dreamer. The other runner is Preach, who's drawn 14, so no luck there. He's in the Class 3 plate over the 1200, so obviously the wide draw gives you something to think about whether he does run.
Mate, he can't draw a barrier on the Saturdays anyway. Raced super at the Gold Coast here on the Tats meeting, just to be gunned down late by R&T. Meets that horse again, and it's drawn quite wide as well. Then R&T was just bloused in the gateway, so the form coming out of that was good. Just a pity he hasn't drawn beautifully, so we could just bounce. He'd probably lead and not have to do as much work, and not do as much work as his last run. Got to make a decision as to whether we do go around, but if he goes around, you know his pattern. Bang, on speed, sort of fast free running horse, and around Doomben, you'd think he'd be hard to catch, but I just wish that he drew sort of single figures and just made that first sort of furlong, when he's got to do a bit of work to cross them, a little bit easier, so he's got sort of another length or two up his sleeve at the end, because he done way too much the other day at home here, and like, he ran super. He was still there with 50 or 60 to go, and R&T was basically the best placed horse in Australia on that day with 53 kilos or something. So hopefully can turn the tables, and we sort of know our fate in the first 200 metres basically. If he gets across and can get a cheap sectional, he'll give a really good kick and be hard to run down.
Okay, that's the key with him, how it begins. Well, I guess that's the key with both of them, isn't it? So, which brings us to best bets.
Well, hopefully we can bookend, but I think I gave it away earlier in Indian Dreamer. Surely Saturday's his day. He's been super consistent and he's due, so you know, he's ready to run a big race.
Eachy way or
No,
or snozzle?
straight out.
Okay, straight out Indian Dreamer.
Straight to the win. Yes.
I like it. No doubt, Toby.
Hopefully a bit of Christmas cheer.
Yeah, well that's right. And speaking of Christmas, Miss P, her second Christmas. What's no doubt lots of presents on the cards.
Not much money left in the account either, mind you. So we need a bit of Christmas cheer. But yeah, it's obviously always a great day. You know, you spend it with family, friends, eat and drink, and it's awesome. So looking forward to it, and a couple of days away in Melbourne with the family.
And obviously, Merry Christmas to all the owners and the regular viewers of the show. Obviously, this will be the last episode before the Christmas break. So
that's right. Any New Year's resolutions for you next year?
I was going to ask you the same thing and probably see if you had an inspiration, but
head down, bum up, more winners. Just keep working hard.
Well, it's a busy start to the year, isn't it? Straight into it. The Wave Week here at the Gold Coast, Magic Millions Week. You got yearling sales, inspections.
Yes, correct.
It's a busy start to the year, so hopefully start with a bang.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll be there, and hopefully looking for some nice cutest horses, fillies and whatnot. The prize money's spectacular for fillies up here, so I think that's where we'll be playing this year. Cutest fillies. That would be probably a good option, but you know, nice horses are nice horses, and we'll be trying to get our hands on some.
Very good. All right, well, that just about wraps us up, I think, as we head into the Christmas break. So good luck on the weekend, and Merry Christmas to all.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.